Hello everyone, today we are featuring a deck that I never, ever thought I was going to be featuring, and that is a Cerebro 5. And it's not a meme anymore. With the Dr. Doom change, the Doombots are 5 power, with the addition of things like Stegron, the Strength of Silk, Medusa, a Lizard. We have Alioth now as well, which this can be built without the Alioth. There's several different versions that do very, very well. I really like the Alioth version, so if you did pick up Alioth, definitely check this one out. Stegron can, of course, be replaced for another 5 power card. It's not critical in there. I've also seen some people get really cheeky with like a Forge into a Brood combo so that you have 3 5 power cards already on the board. That feels a little bit more inconsistent to me. But as far as this deck in particular, I like the flexibility that it has. With a Cerebro deck, a lot of times the weakness is if you don't draw Cerebro, you don't have enough power to really impact the board positively. With this one, even if we don't get Cerebro, or if it gets Enchantress or Rogued, it's oftentimes going to be okay, because we get a lot of power. We're just doing good high-value plays every single turn, which can amount to a lot of power over the course of the game. We have a lot of disruption in things like Polaris, Spider-Man, and Stegron, and then we also have the destruction tool of Alioth, so that we can leverage that on the last turn. If the opponent is doing a combo-driven heavy deck, then we can use Alioth to absolutely steal games that we probably don't have any business being in. And with Cerebro 5, and since you're curving to such high power, low cost cards early, a lot of times you are going to be able to maintain that tempo or that advantage going into that last turn. So a lot of times you are going to have initiative as you go into the last turn of the game. Overall, this has been a very sleeper pick for me. I didn't want to like it as much as I do, but I really enjoy playing this one. It goes well into just about every single thing that I'm seeing on the ladder right now. Galactus doesn't stand a chance. Loki can be tricky if they get their Loki off early, because they're going to be able to do what we're doing, but a little bit cheaper. And then it's going to be fine against Mobius whenever Mobius releases next week. And so I think this is poised to be a pretty potent deck as we move forward in Marvel Snap. And so we're going to be jumping into a couple of games. Thank you guys as always for being here. But before we do, I want to introduce today's video sponsor. With how ingrained the internet has become in our day-to-day lives, having a good VPN service can help keep you protected while you're connected. And Surfshark has been the go-to service for all of my VPN needs. A VPN encrypts your online data to help keep your activities safe and private for any of your internet-connected devices. Surfshark has over 30 to 100 servers in 100 countries and offers top-grade encryption so that your data becomes blurred if anyone might try to access it maliciously. Surfshark is incredibly easy to set up, and the best thing is that with one subscription, you can connect to unlimited devices. Whether that be sharing with your friends or just using it simultaneously from both your computer and your mobile device, Surfshark has you covered. To get an exclusive Surfshark deal, enter promo code TLSG for an extra 3 months free at surfshark.deals/TLSG, or follow the link in the description below. All right, next up we have Fnatic. And the first location is Mojo World, so the most cards there is going to win. We do have Luke Cage, we have Miles, Cerebro, Wave, all that are going to be pretty decent to just kind of chunk over there. Alioth could help us win that location as well. Alioth is one of those cards in this deck that we don't always use it, but sometimes it is just going to win you games. So the Rickety Bridge is the last location in the right lane, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and go Wave now. We're going to save Dr. Doom to use it maybe on the last turn of the game. So we do have our Alioth here. Okay, they play into Rickety Bridge. Interesting. They play a Deadpool into the Rickety Bridge as well. Okay, so they're running a destruction deck. We have to look out for that, but we can either get a small bonus with Cerebro, or we could do something like this. The Medusa here, great. The Lizard, and then the Dr. Doom is going to play into all 3 lanes. I think we're in a pretty good spot. They're not going to have a lot of cards. Okay, well, they are going to have quite a few cards destroyed, apparently. I was going to say, I don't think they'll be able to do their death, but it looks like they will probably be able to. So the Wolverine, the Deadpool, and the X-23, all fantastic cards for the Rickety Bridge location. Wolverine is going to bounce over into Mojo World, X-23 into the Icebox. As long as Rickety Bridge ends up in a tie, we win the left lane by around 100, so we should win any tiebreaker that comes up. Okay, they do go 3 cards, nothing into Rickety Bridge, interestingly enough. And so the Deathlock is going to destroy the Wolverine, which may go into the Rickety Bridge. But it's interesting that they decided to stay here. Maybe they didn't think about the Doctor Doom. So the Carnage destroys the X-23. That doesn't go into Rickety Bridge either. We actually swing... Okay, I thought we swung all 3 lanes for a second, but the 16-power Deadpool is a little bit too strong. We win left, we win right. We will take the 2 cubes. Let's jump into the next one. All right, next up we have 248 in the world. Cleanup 141. The first location is the Starlight Citadel, so the locations are going to change by the end of the game. I think we save Medusa until then. We don't really want to play it and clog up our deck because the Vibranium are not gonna feng shui very well with our deck strategy. Quantum Realm is actually fine. Quantum Realm would be fine, especially if we end up drawing our Luke Cage. And so I think we go ahead and do something like Polaris. It's not going to pull anything. We could do Spider-Man, I guess, to be able to enable the Miles Morales next turn, but the Silk is going to do that, so it won't matter. Electro. A Galactus deck could be very possible. It's a very possible line that they're going with the Galactus deck. So let's go Spider-Man to bounce the Electro somewhere, and then we're going to go Miles Morales. We want to shy away from Wave, at least for now, because with Electro, they're probably going to want to ramp into Alioth, into an Odin, into Galactus. There's some really good Electro ramp lines right now that we have to be very, very cautious of. Okay, so 1 card in the Starlight Citadel, perfectly fine. We pull it with our Spider-Man over into Quantum Realm. So if they are going to go with something like oh, no. So I was not I was not expecting. Oh no, I was not expecting for the Legion. My goodness, should we snap on them? There are 248 in the world. We could snap on them. We could do Luke Cage and then Cerebro. Luke Cage and Cerebro, depending on what we draw next turn, we could do Medusa and Stegron, we could do Medusa and Lizard, we could do Doctor Doom or an Alioth for quite a bit of reach here. I can't believe that Spider-Man play. My goodness. And so we do get the Silk to increase, so if this is Galactus, we're safe. No, it's the Sunspot, okay? And our cards are safe from being brought down in power level because of the Luke Cage. We do get Stegron, so let's go ahead and I think we slap this one and then this one, and we should be good to go. They gave the smile. We're going to give them the good fist bump. Very well played, killing up. It just did not fall in your favor. We will take the win. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. Okay, so the first location is Limbo. So the game is going to go the full distance unless they change it. We don't run a locational change card in this deck. We typically don't need to, though. A double Lizard is decent for us. We do have the Luke Cage, so even if they cap out the location, it's not going to be like the end of the world. We could also go maybe double Doctor Doom. Double Cerebro sounds pretty nice as well. Double Spider-Man is okay, allowing us to do a cheap Miles. Now, we don't want to fill these up too fast, but I also don't want to play too slow in case they yank away the middle location. And so Spider-Man is going to pull their middle card out of Sinister London, so they're not going to be able to get it doubled this time around. Our Miles Morales will be cheap this next turn. I wonder what it ends up being. Mr. Sinister. Oh. Is it a Patriot build? A double Mr. Sinister is kind of crazy. We can continue the we can continue the assault here with the Stegron, which I think is very, very funny. I'm gonna go ahead and throw Stegron in Sinister London. You're not gonna get to play a single card into the lane. We do slap it and then slap it back. So does it double? It does. It does still double. Wow. So the Stegron kind of stabbed us in the back. All right. It's okay. It's all fine. Alioth on the last turn is gonna be very, very big. Let's go Luke Cage for the Lizards. Let's go Miles Morales. Next turn, we're going to go something like Wave. Maybe Wave and Cerebro. Depends on what they play. The Iron Man is big. Depending on how stacked they get before turn number 7, because we have the Alioth to take away their last turn. All right, so we're going to be fighting for left and right here. Ooh. And it really depends on if we have initiative going to the last turn as well, because their card would duplicate before Alioth would trigger, and so then it becomes a lot more like clunky. The Mystique to copy the Iron Man is big. That is a massive, massive amount of power. And right now in middle, they are winning. We're winning left, we're winning right. Beautiful. They can move their Jeffs around, but I don't think it's going to matter. We could probably swindle maybe 4 or 8 cubes here, but I think we're going to settle on just the 2. We have the Alioth to take out whatever they play here, and then it's also going to duplicate over here, so I think we should be fine. In limbo, they're not going to be able to duplicate whatever they were wanting to duplicate. Now, maybe a super heads-up read would be moving their Jeff over and then not playing anything into Sinister London. Okay, so they move one Jeff over, and then they do play card in the right lane, but we're never going to know what that card was. We actually win all 3 locations to some mystery card. We will absolutely take it. Alioth is one of those cards that you have to always consider that it's a possible play. All right, next up we have Firestar. The first location is Baxter Building. They do have a Kitty Pryde, which maybe we can use our Alioth to destroy on the last turn. We'll see. We have Spider-Man to potentially pull their cards out of lanes that they want them to be in. We do have Silk and Mr. Spider-Man. We have Luke Cage if we end up needing it. But I think we have a pretty good standing so far. Luke Cage, decent for the sewer system. Let's go ahead and do... Go ahead and do Spider-Man and Baxter Building. I don't think it's gonna matter, but maybe it does. If they did like a forge, I don't know. Maybe this is Angela, and we pull the Angela out over into Danger Room. Would be pretty nice. Let's see. Korg. Okay, Korg is interesting. They go Korg and then Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde, of course, is gonna get pulled up. We have the Luke Cage to help save us in the sewer system. I almost want to go Stegron here, just because I like the card. He's very RNG based, very hard to gauge exactly what you're gonna get out of him. But I just have a soft spot for the guy. He's just so solid. And so we do play our Luke Cage, we do play our Miles Morales. Next turn, maybe we go with the Stegron. Ooh, the Hawk. Okay, so with the Hawk Kitty Pryde style deck, I can respect it. So I think we have Danger Room locked in. We could do Stegron and then Alioth. Or Stegron and then Dr. Doom is also an alternate play. Let's go ahead and go Stegron, because I think they do play in Baxter Building. They need to. What do we slap out? Hopefully not the Kitty Pryde. Hopefully something else that they want over there. The Iron Lad is unfortunate. What does it end up hitting? So we know what their next top deck is. Ravonna. Ooh. Ravonna's an interesting one. Let's go Alioth and just go ahead and seal the deal. I think they probably fight for winning this location, and then we don't have to worry about Danger Room as a result. Maybe? Maybe. We'll see. We're going to go Alioth in the left lane. I think there's guaranteed value there. The Ravonna's kind of scary. They could go things like Hobgoblin, things like Iron Man, Mystique. Oh, they don't play for Baxter Building at all. Oh, no. So Arnim Zola hits the Hawk. The Kitty Pryde does get destroyed, but our Silk bounces over into the left lane. It's not going to matter. Actually, no, it didn't matter at all. As long as we won the left lane, it didn't matter. All right, next up we have underrated Kang. And I hate to break it to you, I don't think he's underrated. Now, maybe he gets a little bit better the more likely you are to be able to use him on draw. So if he ever goes down to like a 4 cost, and then you also have like your Ravonna, you have more chances to use him as you draw him. Maybe he becomes worthwhile, because then if you can use him the turn that you draw him, he thins your deck. Otherwise, I think he's just, like, he gives you some information, but it's not always great information. Let's go ahead and ruin the Superflow bonus for both of us. I'm going to use Polaris to pull the negative ninja over, just because we don't know exactly what kind of deck they're running. We don't necessarily need the increased energy, but they might. And so they go Forge into the middle location. It could be like a Brood deck. It could be a Kitty Pryde deck. There's a couple of ways that they could maneuver this one. But for giggles, we're going to go Spider-Man. Oh, they skip on turn number 3. Interesting. Okay. We do pull the Forge over into Titan. And so this location, if they're running Galactus, could potentially be a target, but I don't think it's going to be a big concern, though. We have Medusa and Silk, which we also have Lizard. I'm trying to decide which direction I want to go with this. We could go with the Silk to go ahead and get it out on the board along with a Medusa. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then depending on what they play, we'll be able to adjust from there. We could have went Stegron to slap this card out. Would have been really funny. It is the Brood, but they go Brood on 4, so do they have Absorbing Man? If so, Absorbing Man is not super huge most of the time for them. I'm going to go Cerebro on the left and then Lizard. The reason we're doing Cerebro on the left is there's a chance that we top deck Miles Morales, and then we can do Alioth plus Miles on the last turn. We could do Doctor Doom plus Miles. Really, if we draw Miles, it gives us a huge advantage. And we're gonna guard this middle location with the Lizard, trying to bump out Silk just in case it bounced into that middle location. So in turn 5, they end up going with a Doctor Doom, which is a really big hit, unfortunately. So this here could slap 5 of their power out. But I think we try to predict their last turn, and we go with an Alioth. But the question becomes where? Where are they going to play their cards? I'm torn. It's 50-50. I'm torn back and forth. The left lane might be good if they thought we were going to fight for Titan. But the right lane may be good if they were wanting to move our Silk. Let's go Alioth on the right and hope that we get the read right. We do get the read right. We do get Alioth. It is a double drop, so no matter what they had, a Patriot, a Silver Surfer, it doesn't matter because it is no longer going to be viable. We destroy it with the Alioth, and that is where we're going to go ahead and end the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and a comment down below. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.